Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be creating this photo. I found this spot on my local area. We just came back from Tuscany and I wanted to go out and take photographs of green stuff as much as I could, and I came to this little, I found this little area in the woods where I usually take photos. It never caught my eye before, but a couple of days ago it just, the lighting was just perfect and the colors were just ideal, so immediately I started taking photos. So let's go to the spot and let me take you through the whole scene and the idea behind the photo. Wow, I think I found a really cool spot for today's photography session. You know what? I think this could actually work. So I placed my camera right over here and I have a foreground, I have some mid-ground, and I have the flowing water and everything in the distance. So this is going to be, I think this is going to be today's composition. So the frame consists of the foreground element, which are these green leaves right in front of the camera, the green rocks covered with moss, which is kind of the bridge between the foreground and the background, and then in the background you have the river flowing and then some trees in the back. On the left side there are some trees hanging over the water. So in terms of subject matter, there's not a specific subject, it's more of like the whole place and the vibe of the place, and this is what I usually do. So I try to not always take photos of a specific subject at a specific location and do a photo about the subject or of the subject. It's more about capturing the beautiful vibe of the scene. For the photography technique, I'll be using exposure bracketing and focus stacking at the same time. I will take 7 shots with different exposure values, starting from exposure value 0, the correct exposure value, the balanced one, and then going 3 underneath, so 1 minus, 1 minus, 2 minus, 3 minus, and 1 plus, 2 plus, 3 stops plus, in order to get as high as dynamic range as I can. And I'm gonna take 3 sets of these shots with 3 different focus points. The first focus point is going to be on the foreground, the second focus point is going to be on those rocks with the moss, and the third focus point is going to be in those trees right there in the background. This way I get kind of a high dynamic range image where everything is in focus. First of all, what I did is I've stacked the images together. Here you can see stacks of 7. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these are basically the same composition, the same focus distance, everything is the same. I just bracketed 7 stops. So this is exposure value 0, minus 1, plus 1, minus 2, plus 2, and minus 3, plus 3. So then I merge all of these images. Once they're in a stack, you just click here on the right button, photo merge, HDR, and then you just merge everything together. Now I've already done this, so I'm not going to do this again. This is the image that came out. This is the image of all of the 7 different exposures merged together into a full kind of high dynamic range image. I can get a lot of details from the highlights and from the shadows from this image, but the focus point in this shot is actually right here in front of the leaves. Everything else then starts to fall out of focus, which means that I need to do the same process 3 times. So for the second set of 7 shots, 7 exposures, I focused on the rocks right over here. So this is now the most in focus thing. The leaves are going to be a little bit out of focus and the background also a little bit out of focus. And for the third set of 7 exposures merged together into one shot right over here, I focused on these trees over here. So the front elements are a little bit blurry, as you can see, and the trees are basically completely in focus. So I have 3 focus positions, so I'm going to create a focus stack out of these 3 images, which are all HDR images, each one combined of 7 photos. I know it sounds complicated, but I just wanted to do this because it was really contrasty. The scene was really contrasty and I wanted to capture as much detail as I can, because my camera is limited to 12 stops of dynamic range, and bringing such a big contrasty image to life it requires a lot more stops. So by adding those extra 6 stops, I now have like equivalent of like 18 stops of dynamic range, give or take. What I do is I take all of these 3 merged photos and I go edit in Photoshop as layers. Okay, so here are the 3 layers. I'm just going to select all the 3 layers, go to edit, auto align layers, because the camera might have moved as I was changing the focus point. So I just want these images to be perfectly aligned one on top of the other. And then once that is done, I go to auto blend, stack images, and just press OK. Now Photoshop will of course find the areas which are the sharpest and just use those areas from all of the 3 images. It's going to combine and stage them together, basically creating a focus tag. Next thing, I need to crop it in a little bit, or maybe not. Okay. So now this is the starting point where I have basically, as I said before, everything from the foreground all the way to the background in focus. So this was kind of the most important thing of getting as much detail as I can into the start of the image. Now I'm just going to go a little bit faster. I'm not going to talk you through, so it's going to be like a fast forward. We can slow the playback down and see what I'm doing. I'm just going to take you through the edit and then talk about the final result. Okay, so this is the image that we've created, and if I compare it to the before, this is the starting and this is the end. Really kind of brings in the vibe and the atmosphere with these light rays, and this is just how I felt when I took this photo. So if I go to Lightroom, this is the original edit, which is pretty much quite similar. I just added the logo over here, you can see. So yeah, that's that. So this was like my first photo coming from Tuscany. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and if you have any questions, comments, or just want to get a little bit more in detail of the edit, shout down in the comment section. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye bye.